at the beach because I'm thinking about how we rest and restore ourselves. One of the things I like about this beach is all the little different coloured beach huts. This is a place where people come to rest and relax. Hi, I'm Don Egan, and this is the Portable Jesus. One of the most important things Jesus ever said is also one of the things least talked about. He said, "Come aside and rest." I've never heard a sermon or a talk on that. Jesus also said that the Sabbath was made for people. So where does the idea of Sabbath come from? The Hebrew people had two ancient origin stories that were eventually written down in the book of Genesis. In one story, the world is created quite randomly when a spring of water comes up out of the earth. In the other story, God makes everything in a certain order, including humans on day 6, and then God rests on the 7th day. It is this story that gives us the origins of the Sabbath. But as with most Hebrew stories, the main story is not really what's important, it's what's hidden in the story. There are two things hidden in this story. The first is that God himself took a day off. Sometimes when our friends are working too much and not having any downtime, we say, even God took a day off. That's the very thing that the people who wrote this story wanted their readers to know, that time off is just as important as work. Today we live in a world that never stops, where almost everything is open 24/7. 24-hour news channels, Twitter feeds, Instagram posts, endless emails, alerts and bells calling for our attention all day long. It's no wonder that the average person feels stressed, and stress is one of the main causes of modern illness and disease. Eventually this dis-ease causes health issues in our body and mind. The second thing that's hidden in this story is that human life began with rest, not with work. Let me say that again. Human life began with rest, not with work. The storyteller in Genesis places the creation of human life on the 6th day. So humans' first day was a day of rest, not of work. We work from rest, not rest from work. Most people put work first and not rest, and that's the wrong way round. That's why we're exhausted all the time. The subtle change we need to make is to work from rest, not rest from work. In the monastic tradition, great emphasis is placed on silence, stillness and solitude. And the reason they do that is because we will find peace in God, and we will find God at the centre of ourselves. And we can only go there through silence, stillness and solitude. And this rest that Jesus taught about and the Hebrew people followed created a rhythm of life. And it followed the rhythms in nature, like the waxing and waning of the moon, or the change of the seasons, as each of the 4 seasons hands over the dance to the next season. If you can learn to tune into this rhythm of life, punctuated by a weekly Sabbath and regular times of rest, you'll find that you live a calmer, more peaceful life. Each day has a rhythm, each week has a rhythm, each month has a rhythm, and each year has a rhythm. And we need to tune in to the rhythm of nature and the God who created that nature. The word sabbatical also comes from the word Sabbath. Sabbatical is the idea where we take a year out every 7 years. And most of us are not able to take a year out every 7 years because we have to earn money to live. But we can do something. What if you decided to arrange your life so that you have an hour a day of just being still and meditating, praying, whatever? And then what happens if a day a month you just take out to be still, silent maybe, or find some solitude and do some self-care? And then what if you commit to a week a year where you go away from everything and be alone, not just on holiday, but maybe to a conference that inspires you, or maybe to a retreat in a monastery or a convent, something like that. It's hard to imagine anyone who was more at peace than Jesus, and yet as I read the gospel stories, I can't find a hint of a man who was driven or ambitious. He just seems to carry peace with him. He was called the Prince of Peace. He was definitely a man who worked from rest rather than rested from work. Jesus was someone who also watched out for his tribe when things got really busy and chaotic. He told them to come aside and rest a while in a deserted place. Just be still with him. So, questions of the day. Do you take a full day off every week? What one change could you make to your weekly routine that would make sure you get properly rested every week? Have you tuned in to the rhythm of life? I've written a little booklet called The Rhythm of Life that explores these ideas more fully, and you can get a copy of that from our website rsvptrust.co.uk. Thanks for watching today. If you enjoyed the video, do give us a thumbs up on YouTube and click the subscribe button below, and I'll see you in the next video.